Howdy folks, Nathan here with a 2022 Audi. Look at this, it's the Q3 S-Line 45 TFSI Quattro. I kid you not, that is the entire name right here. It's just getting ridiculous. It's a Quattro. It's at a Q3. All right, well, the whole point of all this is that this is a special trim level. It's a little bit more sporty to look at and a little bit more sporty to drive than your average Q3. As a matter of fact, it has a beefier engine. We'll get to that in a second. So in this video, we're gonna do a quick little walk around, talk about the styling, show you a few things inside. Then I'm gonna hop behind the steering wheel and take it for a short drive. Now, I've already driven this vehicle, so I already have a rather poignant opinion about how it drives and the fact that it's an Audi. Now, depending on where you go, you can actually get two different readings on what the torque is on this vehicle. However, according to this, it's a 228 horsepower four-cylinder engine. That's a 2-liter. It's turbocharged, and under that lovely hood, I actually think it's good looking, is either a 251 or 258 pound-foot of torque mill. It's hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission, feeding all four wheels via the Quattro system. Yes, it's actually a pretty damn good drive. It's fun, and I'll show you that when I hop behind the wheel. But it's not like Audi fast, you know what I mean? Especially for a vehicle that has all of the go fast features on it, like these 20-inch wheels, which I'm going to show you in a minute when we do the full walk around. But on top of that, you can get the base model, which is much less expensive, with the 184 horsepower four-cylinder engines, also 2-liter. This is better, much better, because I have a feeling that trying to move a car that weighs almost 2 tons around, frankly, you want the more powerful mill. Now, look at these absolutely beautiful wheels. I love them. I really do like this design. I like the black inset and all that other stuff. These are optional with this S-Line package, and as such, whew, well, let me put it to you this way. They look really good, but they don't help the ride. So it's a little bit firm, just a little bit. Let's work our way to the back. Now, there are other trim components here and there other than the badges that actually look pretty nice, including the black roof rails. But in the back, there's something I wanted to point out. Audi finally stopped doing something that I really detested, which is they stopped putting on fake exhaust trim. So if you look back here, it's pretty obvious that those are not exhaust ports. They could kind of sort of look like it, but at least there's no chrome surround there that really makes them look that way. The bottom line is that German automakers, specifically Audi and Volkswagen, really don't like using exhaust ports except for certain vehicles. Don't know why. I don't know if this splitter in the back is actually aerodynamic or for looks, but it's kind of cool. All right, let's look at the back real quick. Now, there's actually a fairly roomy interior. Take a look at the overall layout in there. It's quite nice. You can get 23.7 cubic feet of space behind that second row, or if you fold down the seats, you get 48 cubic feet of total cargo space. In this class, that is considered okay. There's better and there's worse. But also, one thing I really do appreciate is the fact that they have a space-saving donut down here with all the goodies. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of extra space for anything else, but bear in mind that this component right here is actually part of the audio package. I'll tell you about the audio package when we get inside the car. There are a couple other things in here as well, including an outlet for 12 volt and a little bit of extra space on the sides. These seats, rather it be a 60-40 split like in many vehicles, is a 40-20-40 split. These seats do recline and they do slide. Let me show you. First of all, I'm gonna hit the button. That is a good looking interior, isn't it? Just the back seat alone. I'm working my way to the front seat. Let me hop in. Now, I am 6'1". I have no hair, so unlike Roman, who's 6'3" with the hair, won't be an issue in terms of headroom. and I sit behind myself fairly comfortably. I'm able to put my feet underneath down here, and I have good knee room, decent leg room, and headroom is all right. And there is a sunroof in here, which at times can cut into space. Not in this case. There is an air conditioning vent down here too, thank goodness, and USB ports, of course. So that's not such a bad thing either. This is nice. Is it a luxury car? Not quite, but I really do like the seats, just the way they look. Back here, the bolstering isn't the best, but I can slide these seats and recline them. Pretty cool, right? All right, let me work my way to the front seat, because that's where the magic happens. In we go. All right. I really do like the cockpit of this vehicle. However, hold on, there it goes. I have a nice cushion for the back of my big fat head. Let's have a look in here. Now, this is an all digital cockpit. I am going to turn the engine on. This is over 12 inches of digital layout here, and this is over 10 inches here. Why is that important? Because it kind of looks bigger, doesn't it? I think part of the plastic over here, this doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything either. It's all right here. And I am going to turn on the air conditioning a little bit because it's stifling in here. Now, before we drive, real quick issues. I think the car looks great on the outside. You'll see how it drives, but it's a great driving car. But for the price, which we'll cover at the very end, it just has heated front seats. Right here, see that? And by the way, all these buttons and dials are really nice quality, nice feel to them. You could actually hear them click on and click off. Much better than pushing on the screen like you would, well, here. But I've driven cars made in other countries, Korea, that have heated and cooled seats that are much less expensive. And I think that the whole thing of, well, it's German, is no longer a viable argument. Honestly, for this money, I want heated and cooled seats. Hell, I want massaging seats if you could do it. But the bottom line is that for the money, I do think you should be getting a little bit more. Still, you do get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You get the entire navigation system, which is based on a Google system. You do get a vehicle that has a lot of advanced goodies in it, including the Sonos, can you see that over there? Stereo system, which is quite good. Takes a little time for you to really find the sound, though. And it doesn't like heavy metal or punk rock, I noticed. It's really into jazz and classical. Roman should be thrilled. Now, there are a few other things that I wanted to quickly show you before I hit the road, including large panoramic sunroof. I really do like the size of this opening, by the way. I think that's a really cool setup, too. And you can, of course, let's see here. There's the right one. Pop it up and pop it back. When a sunroof has enough room for my big fat body to actually squeeze through it, I tend to find that appealing. All right, let's take this thing for a ride. Keep in mind that I don't want to make the camera guy vomit, so I'm not going to go too crazy, but I wanted to tell you a couple things about this vehicle and what makes it different than, say, an expensive Volkswagen. By the way, thank you so much, Audi, for having a proper gear lever. As I mentioned before, 8-speed automatic transmission, and you do have paddle shifters in this, which really does give you a little bit more of a sporty feel. The exhaust note, which I didn't bother playing for you outside, kind of sucks, to be honest with you. It doesn't give you that, zippy, fun, hard feeling. It's kind of muffled. It sounds kind of industrial. Sometimes the Germans can really do a 4-cylinder engine, and sometimes they can kind of screw it up. But you're not buying this to hear it. I know most people who are doing this just want to get a classier looking, sportier looking car, but with these big wheels and tires, you do get, I think, a stiffer ride and more grip. And here we go. Now I'm already up to speed. 0 to 60 in this car, I believe, is around 7 seconds at sea level. Gonna be slower up here. More than adequate though. Very, very comfy for the driver in terms of seats, but the suspension and these huge steamroller wheels make it very, very bumpy inside when you're on a crappy street like this one. So if you want the gentle ride, do not get this package. You can start off with much smaller wheels, and with the smaller wheels you get a larger sidewall on your tire and thus a much more gentle ride. Also remember that this is set up for a little bit more of a sporty feel in terms of suspension and steering. With that being said, this is still a fun car to drive. It's got good pep, easy to park, pretty good sized windows. Sight lines are quite good, I think, for a car in this class. And it provides just enough oomph and snoot value to make you kind of like feel a little proud. You know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, it's my crossover, everybody has one. It's like, yeah, it's my Audi crossover. Not everybody has one. Yeah, sure, some of you guys are like, well, wait, that 2-liter that's in there is very similar to the stuff that's used in other Volkswagens, and you would be right. They do share many components. But in this vehicle, the way it's set up with this beefier version of the powertrain, I think it's an excellent match. There are a couple problems though, and I'm going to tell you what those problems are and the price and fuel economy when we hop out. So I'm going to let the poor cameraman get out and try to get his footing, and we're going to talk about what makes this car tick. I'm holding the sticker in my hand along with a lot of notes. There's no sugarcoating it. This vehicle is almost 50 grand. That's a lot of dough. As it sits, its MSRP with destination is $48,740. Woo! Now, there are a few things that you can eliminate when you're buying a car like this that you really don't need. For one thing, it has the package, sorry, you'll edit this out. Here. It has the Premium Plus package, which gives you, obviously, the alarm and the better stereo and all that other stuff, the LED lights. $3,300 for that. Then the technology package, which gives you the nicer stereo, the MMI touch system, all that other stuff, $2,700. And then the Black Optic Sport package, basically blacking out things and some other cool stuff. And the beefier wheels, $1,700. However, you have to pay an additional $800 to go up to these 20-inch wheels. Otherwise, you would have 19-inch wheels. It's a lot of money. That's what makes this total go up. Otherwise, you could go for a base model in the mid to high 30s realistically, which I'd probably recommend, at least for those of you who are not looking for performance. And the thing is this is not a super high performance vehicle. If you want higher performance, and this is the problem with this car, and if you want something that gives you a lot more for the money, Genesis, man, they have a really good car. The G70 is fantastic, and it beats this one in many, many ways. Not only that, there are other vehicles that do as well. Hell, if you got the Mazda CX-5 with the turbocharged engine for a lot less money, it would absolutely slaughter this thing in terms of overall performance, feel, and interior quality. It's right up there with it. Still, this is a German car, and many people out there are like, German car is the way I want to go. Well, then this is for you. Oh, by the way, if you think it gets good mileage, 24 mpg combined, and it likes premium fuel. So there you go. Thanks for joining me on this really quick review. Hope you guys learned something about this Audi. I still think it looks like $1 million. I just don't think it's worth $1 million. I'll see you guys next time.